Hello everyone. Today, we're exploring Zurich, one of Switzerland's largest and most impressive cities. We're starting our journey on Bahnhofstrasse, the city's most famous shopping street. As we walk along one of Zurich's busiest avenues, we'll make our way toward the city's historic center. Our first stop is Altstadt, the Old Town, famous for its narrow medieval streets and beautifully preserved historic buildings. Next, we'll head up to Lindenhof, one of the oldest settlement sites in Zurich, where we'll enjoy panoramic views of the Limmat River and the Old Town. After that, we'll visit St. Peter's Church, home to one of the largest clock faces in Europe, and then admire the stunning stained glass windows of the famous Fraumünster Church. In the final part of our tour, we'll cross the Münsterbrücke bridge over the Limmat River, where we'll experience one of Zurich's most iconic views. If you're ready, let's begin exploring Zurich's history, culture, and charming streets together. Today, we're exploring Zurich, the largest city in Switzerland, nestled in the heart of the Alps. With nearly 2,000 years of history, a beautifully preserved medieval old town, its unique location along the Limmat River, and stunning lakeside views, Zurich blends history and modern life in perfect harmony. Now let's begin our journey from the main train station and discover this fascinating city together, one step at a time. We are now at Zurich Hauptbahnhof, the city's main railway station. Every day, hundreds of thousands of passengers pass through this station, connecting not only Zurich, but also destinations across Switzerland and many major European cities. Opened in 1847, the station has expanded over the years and evolved into the modern transportation hub we see today. As we step outside the station, we're greeted by Bahnhofstrasse, Zurich's most famous street. Stretching for about 1.4 kilometers, it is considered one of the world's most prestigious shopping streets. Interestingly, this area was once occupied by the city's defensive walls and moat, after the fortifications were removed in the 19th century. It was transformed into a wide boulevard and gradually became one of Zurich's most iconic locations. As we walk along the street, you'll find world-famous luxury watch and jewelry boutiques on one side, while historic buildings, charming cafes, and the city's iconic trams create a beautiful contrast on the other. This is one of the best places to experience Zurich's orderly and peaceful atmosphere. Now let's continue our walk along Bahnhofstrasse and make our way toward the historic heart of Zurich. We are now in Altstadt, Zurich's historic old town. At the entrance, we're welcomed by one of the many fountains you'll see throughout the city. This area is considered the birthplace of Zurich, dating back nearly 2,000 years. With its narrow cobblestone streets, colorful historic buildings, and centuries-old architecture, it still preserves the atmosphere of the past. As you walk through Altstadt, you'll find a different story around almost every corner. On one side, you'll find medieval buildings, while on the other, there are charming boutique shops, traditional cafes, and hidden courtyards waiting to be discovered. Taking your time to wander these narrow streets, admire the fine architectural details, and experience the charm of the cobblestone lanes is one of the best ways to discover Zurich. Let's continue exploring the enchanting streets of Altstadt together. We have now arrived at Lindenhof, one of Zurich's most special places. This is not only a beautiful viewpoint, but also one of the places where the city's history began. Nearly 2,000 years ago, the Romans built a fortress here to control the Limmat River, and the foundations of Zurich were laid in this very area. Today, Lindenhof is a favorite spot for both locals and visitors looking to escape the city's busy streets and enjoy a peaceful break. From here, you can admire the Limmat River, the red rooftops of the old town, its historic bridges, and the churches on the opposite bank all at once. The changing light throughout the day gives this place a unique atmosphere. This is also one of the best places to experience the connection between Zurich's past and present. Let's take a moment to enjoy this incredible view before continuing our walk through Zurich's historic streets. We're making our way through Zurich's narrow streets towards St. Peter's Church, with its distinctive tower already visible in the distance. We can't help but pick up our pace as we head closer to this historic landmark. We have now arrived at St. Peter's Church, one of Zurich's most important historic landmarks. The first thing you'll probably notice is its tall bell tower and enormous clock face. In fact, with a diameter of about 8.7 meters, it is one of the largest church clock faces in Europe. For centuries, this clock has been one of the city's most recognizable landmarks, and played an important role in the daily life of Zurich's residents. But St. Peter's Church is much more than its famous clock. The history of this site dates back to the 9th century, and the building we see today has taken shape through several additions and renovations over the centuries. Throughout its history, the church has played a significant role in Zurich's religious and social life. As we step inside, the lively atmosphere of the city gives way to a peaceful and simple interior. Influenced by the Protestant Reformation, the church was designed with a minimalist style rather than elaborate decoration. Its wooden pews, high ceiling, and the natural light filtering through the stained glass windows create a calm and welcoming atmosphere. As you walk through the church, it's hard not to feel the history that has filled this space for centuries. St. Peter's Church stands out not because of lavish decoration, but because of its simplicity, its rich history, and the unique atmosphere that connects visitors with Zurich's past. Now, let's leave this remarkable landmark behind and continue exploring the streets of the old town. As we continue walking through the narrow cobblestone streets of Zurich's old town, we discover yet another one of the city's greatest charms. The interconnected alleyways and quiet streets winding between historic buildings make this walk feel like a journey back in time. Along the way, we're surrounded by boutique shops, cozy cafes, and centuries-old buildings that have stood here for generations. After a few minutes, the streets gradually become wider, and in the distance, the elegant blue-green spire of Fraumünster Church comes into view. This tower is one of the most recognizable landmarks in the old town, and a helpful point of reference as you explore the city. We have now arrived at Fraumünster Church, one of Zurich's most famous landmarks. Rising beside the Limmat River, this impressive church is remarkable not only for its architecture, but also for its history of nearly 1,200 years. It was founded in the 9th century by King Louis the German as a convent for his daughter, Hildegard. For centuries, the abbesses who lived here played an important role not only in Zurich's religious life, but also in its political and economic affairs. Directly in front of the church lies Münsterhof Square. Although it is a peaceful square today, it was one of the city's most important gathering places and ceremonial spaces during the Middle Ages, surrounded by historic buildings, cafes, and open space. It is the perfect place to take a short break and soak in the atmosphere of Zurich. As we walk across Münsterhof Square, we come across a memorial plaque dedicated to Winston Churchill. It commemorates his famous "Let Europe Arise" speech, delivered in Zurich on September 19, 1946. Just across from Fraumunster stands the elegant Zunfaus zur Maison. It was once the meeting house of one of Zurich's powerful guilds. Today, the building forms part of the Swiss National Museum and preserves an important piece of Zurich's rich history. Now let's leave this historic square behind and continue our walk along the banks of the Limmat River. We have now arrived at Münsterbrücke, one of the most beautiful spots in Zurich. Spanning the Limmat River, this historic bridge connects the two sides of the old town. From here, you can admire the elegant spire of Fraumünster Church on one side and the twin towers of Grossmünster on the other, all from the same viewpoint. Standing on Münsterbrücke, watching the gentle flow of the Limmat River while taking in these historic churches and Zurich's peaceful atmosphere is truly one of the highlights of exploring the city. Although the present bridge was built in the 19th century, a river crossing has existed at this location since the Middle Ages, for centuries. Merchants, pilgrims, and local residents crossed here to travel between the two sides of Zurich. Today it remains a lively crossing shared by trams, cyclists, and pedestrians. At one end of Münsterbrücke stands the equestrian statue of Hans Waldmann, one of Zurich's most influential yet controversial historical figures, a celebrated military commander and later the city's mayor. Now we're continuing our walk along the Limmat River, enjoying the clear waters that bring life and character to the city. Along the riverbank, we pass inviting cafes where locals and visitors gather to relax and enjoy the beautiful surroundings. Finally, we arrive at Rudolf-Brunnbrücke, where we take in one last breathtaking panoramic view of Zurich before bringing our tour to an end. Thank you so much for joining us on our walk through Zurich. We hope you enjoyed discovering this beautiful city with us. If you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you won't miss our future travel adventures. See you in the next journey.